So Anthony and the girl from the church are still on the outs. Yes, but you know what? He told me not to return her promise ring to the Coles. So he's just hanging on to it. It's sitting on his dresser in his bedroom. It's so sad. And when I ask him, what's going on between you and the girl? Wait, I say Sarah. What's going on between you and Sarah? Not the girl from the church. He says, don't worry about it, Ma. So I just mind my own business. But we haven't seen her. We haven't heard a peep from her, which has been so nice not to have her sleeping over at our house all this time. So Jerry and I figured now is as good a time as any to get out of town for the weekend, and we're going to go visit his brother Bob at his cabin up north. But it's his brother Bob and his third wife. And, you know, Jerry and Bob will be fishing, and I'll be left in the cabin with his third wife, who happens to be 15 years younger than me. And all she does is wear yoga pants and meditate. What am I supposed to do with that? So, you know, I'm bringing my crock pot and my Mary Higgins clock books. And I'm going to make some beef stew and read. And she can stretch. So Jerry and I came home early from our weekend's getaway. Yeah, his snoring was keeping everyone else awake in the cabin. It was so embarrassing. Anyway, as we're coming home, we pull up to the house. I see a car I don't recognize, a little Toyota Celica. And guess what I see when I walk into the living room? But Anthony sitting on the couch with some girl I've never seen before in my life, draped across him like she's Cleopatra. Yes. I said, who is this? And she said what her name was. And I said, I don't care who you are. And I looked at Anthony. I said, what about the girl from the church? And he said, Ma, come on. And then, of course, Jerry was like, come on now. And he started to usher me away down the hall to our bedroom. But not before I could yell, and what about the girl from the church's promise ring you have sitting on your dresser in your bedroom? And then, of course, I could hear Cleopatra say, who's the girl from the church? I said, her name is Sarah. And then Jerry says to me, oh, now you know her name. And I said, don't start with me, Jerry. And next thing I knew, I could hear that little Toyota Celica driving away. You know who drives a Toyota Celica? A hussy. So the other day I was working the Coles and I was getting ready to take my 15-minute break, and I had been working in the petites. So I had to pass by the jewelry counter, and who do I see there? But none other than my Anthony, standing over the jewelry counter with the girl from the church's promise ring in his hand like he's about to return it. Yes. And guess who's working the counter? None other than Brenda with the obscene cleavage. I know. And she's leaning over the counter with her breasts practically spilling out into my Anthony's arms. I couldn't believe the scene I saw. So I just marched right up to Anthony, grabbed him by the arm, and walked straight out of the Coles. And I told him, you hold on to the girl from the church's ring, and we'll talk about this later. And like I said, don't ever come into the Coles alone. I don't know what I'm going to do. I never thought I'd say this, but I think maybe I'm going to call the girl from the church and see if she'll come over and they can sit down and talk it out. I need them to get back together before Brenda gets her big-breasted hooks in him.